Breaking news. UConn's pretty damn good at this whole transfer portal stuff. Kayleigh Heckel to UConn. Let's go.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah. UConn, baby. Home of the champions. Let's go.
That's right, baby. Let's go. Kayleigh Heckel to UConn. We've been talking about this for almost a month now, a few weeks. Just trying to get all the ducks in a row, but she is officially committed to UConn, and there is a fan base that is very excited about this. Obviously us. There's probably a few that are not so happy, Notre Dame, Vanderbilt, and others, but also what this really means going forward. And we're going to talk about that. This team is absolutely stacked. They have no other scholarships available, and we're going to talk about what. All right, little adjustment there to make sure that you guys see me properly and that it's lined up. UConn has a legitimate chance to go 40-0. This might be one of Geno's deepest squads ever. And when you think about it, when you say it out loud, and they've done it six times, most recently in the Breanna Stewart era. So is this team have the same star power? I don't know. When you think about Sarah Strong, she might be the best player in the country next year. You think about Serah Williams. She was easily a top 5 player in the Big Ten, 19-10, and defensive player of the year, all defensive team in the Big Ten. Then we haven't even mentioned Azzi Fudd, who was most outstanding player in the Final Four and really found her identity, if you will, in how good she is for this team. KK Arnold. Now we have her in the fold as essentially the starting point guard. Now you bring in someone like Kayleigh Heckel, who was backing up Juju Watkins at USC and really is almost like an insurance policy. We've talked about this, in the past, that I don't think Geno's ever wanted to have what he's had during the Paige Bueckers era, where he had to look down at the bench and just see a whole cavalcade of injuries and, this could have been like this or these what ifs. Now it's no, we're stacking talent, and if people leave, they leave, but they really haven't. If we just look at how good this team is, Geno's not fading away after winning number 12. He's coming for it all. If the tournament was a reckoning for UConn women's basketball, the transfer portal season for UConn has to be described, in my estimation, as a warning to the rest of the country of, hey, if you thought just because Geno's in his 70s and he's essentially, probably felt really validated with his title, his 12th title, those funny Instagram posts of him dropping all of his rings, I think there's another one in his future. I think if you're a UConn fan, start booking your flights to Phoenix, where it's being played next year, Final Four. And if they stay healthy, they absolutely will go 40-0. And it's not about the stars per se. It's about how much depth and how much quality they have everywhere. Let's look at what they return, right? So you have the 2 redshirt seniors in Caroline and Azzi, and then you have Serah Williams. 1 year of eligibility left. She's going to be really good for UConn being next year. Then you have our juniors, redshirt junior in Ice Brady. You have KK Arnold, who is the presumptive starting point guard. Ashlyn Shade, who will likely be fighting for some starting minutes and just big time minutes in general, because she's been so good for UConn in 2 Final Fours, 1 title for her. Morgan Shelley, who essentially was kind of on the up and up up and coming part of this team when she was started to get injured. I feel like it was a shoulder injury. I'd have to look that up again this off season. And so she's been rehabbing that and getting better. So she's 1000% going to be a big part of UConn's plans next year. Then you have Janelle Elfie, redshirt, now sophomore. Is, tournament Jana, is she going to be around? Then you have a sophomore, Kayleigh Heckel, who just transferred in. Was a 4-star recruit, highly coveted. We're going to talk about what was written about her prior to her going to USC. And then you have Ayanna Patterson, who's a redshirt sophomore, coming back from injury. We're at the 11th player, and I just mentioned Serah Strong. If you didn't have Serah Strong, this team still wins a national title. Having Serah Strong makes them elite and likely unbeatable. Ali Zabel, who is a sharpshooter, didn't get a ton of run next year, but I think of how much more she's going to play this year because of the amount of times they're going to blow teams out, and she's going to get her run. Then we haven't even talked about the talented freshman. You have Kellis Fisher, who is thought to essentially challenge KK for her starting minutes or essentially back her up. Now she's going to be fighting with someone like Kayleigh Heckel as well to see if she can get on the floor. If not, she has to bide her time. Gandhi Malou-Mamel, who is undoubtedly a project, but a monster defensive asset at 6'6", 6'7", fantastic rim runner, hard worker. Her story is well documented by myself included, having Kieran Quinn on and talking about how she came here from the Congo and then through Ireland. So I hope that she continues to thrive, and I think she's just a nice piece for them from a practice perspective, and then also to kind of learn and not feel like you have to put her in the game unless it's just to get some run, right? But she's going to be very good. And last, but certainly not least, the 15th player on this roster, Blanca Quiñones, who is by far one of the most advanced freshmen to ever come into UConn. And that's saying so much considering the names that have gone through the hallowed halls of Storrs, Connecticut, because Blanca Quiñones is under the radar because she plays overseas. She's coming in with a pro mentality. She's a freshman. She's got multiple years at UConn to dominate, to play alongside a Serah Strong, to play alongside a Gandhi Malou-Mamel, who's going to be rim running with her for years, to play alongside twin towers of Serah Williams and Geno Auriemma. Wouldn't be surprised to see them play together. Blanca can get out and get after it. And so I expect her to get a ton of minutes. So let's recap, right? Serah Strong, best player in the country. Serah Williams, dominant Big Ten transfer, senior experience. Azzi Fudd, top 2 or 3 player in the country. KK Arnold, expected to be the takeover, not just defensive menace, but repeat and show the Kayleigh Heckel insurance poly is just that maybe she's not needed and that she's ready to rock. Ashlyn Shade, a true two-way presence who doesn't really need the ball to impact the game, but when she's hot, she's hot. Just ask Iowa State. Morgan Shelley, prior to her injury, was playing with what Geno Auriemma loves, the versatility of a big guard who then can go and also, bang with the bigs and get rebounds. Ice Brady and Geno Auriemma, both redshirts, one sophomore, one junior. Now, Jana feeling more comfortable after her tournament performance, especially with how she, in stretches outplayed one of the best players in the country in Lauren Betts in the Final Four. And I think her experience with that is going to be a major plus. I think Ice is going to be feeling pretty good about all of the extra people that she has to support her this year, because I think Ice probably got not necessarily blindsided, but she probably just felt like, man, this is a lot. Like I want to come in and do my role, but she's got so many people around her now that can help with what she was being tasked to do, which is all the dirty work. And it sucks if you're the only one doing it. But now that she's got multiple people that can kind of help with that, I think it's sky's the limit. And then now you add Kayleigh Heckel to go along with this great freshman class, some of the transfers. I mean, that's right there. That's 11 people that we've talked about without even getting to the freshmen. And we're talking about a 15-player roster where anyone, if you maybe with the exception of Gandhi and Kellis, 13 players on this team could start. When you really look at it, you could definitely tweak the lineup here and there. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Give me your absolute, best or worst on that. And we're going to take a quick break. And one more quick note. This team is just being built like a damn army of just talent. And Geno's just going to kind of go, do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And we're going to be back here next year in 2026 talking about a 13th title. Lucky number 13. You can book it. put me on freezing cold takes, whatever. But I this is an absolute guarantee from me at the Hoops Capital and BigEastEnergy.com. This team is winning a national title next year. Yeah. Sorry to inform you, other teams. Season's canceled. Christmas is canceled for you. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back talking about how stacked this team is in Kayleigh Heckel specifically. You're on the Hoops Cap.
Big East Energy. Ryan Gresh here with the Feel Good Lab. And the same tools that we use to help elite athletes like Hassan Diarra, Nika Mule, and our very own Cam Spencer are the same things that we use to help people like you and I. People that want to optimize their overall health, feel a little bit younger, or are suffering from a chronic condition. And it's all about reducing inflammation, improving the nutrients in our body, and fixing our gut. And the way that we do that is not through a one-size-fits-all model. Everything is personalized. We offer products that are plant-based, natural, and help you identify the root cause. And oftentimes, we're looking at what's going into our body. So we have a food inflammation test, a gut microbiome test, so that we can treat you like an individual human that you are. And so the thing that we're the most excited about is actually connecting with you. Whether you're a UConn fan or not, please reach out, call us. We'd love to talk with you and see how we can help. Best in health.
All right, welcome back in to the Hoops Cap Pod. That was Ryan Gresh at the Feel Good Lab. Make sure you check them out and email him if you want, Ryan at thefeelgoodlab.com, to talk about what can you do to help, right? Whether it's you feel like you want to get your gut health checked on, maybe you have a chronic condition, arthritis, tennis elbow, golf elbow. These are all things that he's got products that can help with. Local Connecticut company that is a big-time UConn basketball sponsor, both the women's and the men's. Last but not least, Joey Bail Bonds, our sponsor here. Look, I know some of our fan base is of the older variety that probably doesn't get themselves into that much trouble anymore. But that's not entirely true statistically, right? If you do have an issue and you need Joey Bail Bonds, which we hope you don't, we hope you just go and say hi to him at UConn games, which he frequents quite, most of the time as a season ticket holder. He was at the Final Four and saw these very women win their 12th national title. So call him at 860-916-6747 if you need any legal help. Get yourself out of jail. All right. This team is stacked, y'all. Kayleigh Heckel is essentially a layer of luxury. This is the start of a potential Sarah Strong dynasty, and it's got layers. Kayleigh Heckel might be the most underrated player of all of this because so many people have said, "Oh, we don't need her." Okay, you don't need something until something happens, an injury, a breakout game that becomes a breakout, couple of games that becomes a streak. Her numbers at USC won't blow anybody away. 6.1 points, 2 assists. But the context matters. She played behind if not the best player in the country, the second best player in the country in Juju Watkins. She's a player who thrived at Long Island Lutheran, ran the show for Exodus New York City on the EYBL circuit, made the USA under-18 roster, and now she's walking into UConn as a secondary or rotational point guard with 3 years of eligibility and likely a chip on her shoulder. So when she's surrounded by spacing, by multiple stars, playing with Juju Watkins is not like playing in a UConn offense. No disrespect to USC and what they do and what they run. Coach Gottlieb does a great job. But when your entire offensive identity is one player and then you spread it out a little bit, the difference here is she's going to be around people that makes her life easier. Whether defenses lapse on Azzi, which is wild to me, and it still happens, whether it's Serah, whether it's other Serah, Kayleigh will be wide open to shoot her shot because she is a very capable shooter. She didn't show it last year, but she also didn't get a ton of touches. She doesn't need 30 minutes. I think she really kind of can excel in that 15 to 18-minute range if that's the plan. But behind her, you've got a younger wave. They're all the same class with Allie, Morgan, Kellis is a freshman. You have Gandy, who's a freshman, Blanca, who's a freshman. Players that are likely starters and centerpieces on 95% of the teams in America. So how do you beat UConn this year? You can't. Like I mean, I guess you could. Tennessee beat a UConn team last year that probably had no business losing to that Lady Volunteers team, but they lost. So I am well aware of the old adage, and I'm old enough to have the curiosity to say nothing is a sure thing. But death, taxes, UConn basketball making the Final Four, that's happening this year. Them going undefeated, I think we can say that that's a very high likelihood. I'm going to say, maybe I'm backtracking here, and that's okay. Like a 70% chance they go undefeated. And if they do lose one, who cares? Because this team, more than likely, is going to be there again Sunday afternoon in Phoenix, going for Geno's 13th national title and a back-to-back national championship for Sarah Strong and others, Azzi Fudd, and the rest of the crew. So this isn't really about Kayleigh Heckel. This is just about how UConn is putting this roster together. She's here. The team is stacked. And an undefeated season may just be a foregone conclusion. So let me know what you guys think. Give me your comments in the chat. I don't know if you guys even know this, but if you see a super chats on here and you're in the comments, that helps us out. That's kind of like a donation, if you will. So it doesn't matter how much it is. We appreciate that because that goes towards our operational costs and everything that goes with it. We're really out here grinding for not only just UConn fans, but Big East fans in general. And really appreciate all the support you're giving us. We're over 10,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. And some really cool changes and some fun stuff coming down the pike. So this has been another episode of the Hoopscat Pod with your host, Mark Zanetto. I didn't have this on the whole show, but at Mark Zanetto, CBB, and the Hoopscap on Big East Energy Network's channel. We're here at the Hoopscap, powered by Big East Energy. Wishing you all the best. We love you guys. We're out.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.